Everyone in this world goes through nisyonos, trials and tribulations, tests. All of us are tested in life. One person is tested in the area of Emunah Bitachon. One person is tested in the area of parnasa, making a livelihood. One with shidduchim, another one with shalom bayis, with keeping the peace in the house. Every person goes through certain things in this world. Sometimes we feel as though we are completely alone and nobody understands. There was a great man, Rabbi Shimon Bergstein, and it was during the war that the Russians trumped up charges against him. And they decided, the pesech was that he was to go to Siberia to sub-zero temperatures, to be tortured and to work from the early morning till late at night. While he was standing, being guarded, about to go on the train to Siberia, there was an individual, Rebbe Zion Apter, that came quietly and pushed into his hand a little piece of folded paper. He held that paper by his side. Reb Shimon then boarded the train all the way to Siberia. When he got out, he was pushed immediately to go to work. They tortured him, they pushed him, they punched him. However, he held on to that piece of paper, and the first moment that he could, he opened it up. It was a page from Likutei Moharan. Echad Haya Avraham. One was Avraham Avinu. And what the page discussed was the fact that Avraham Avinu stood up against the entire world. He was born at a time when there was a gezerah, there was a decree that nobody could be born. Also, he was born into a house where his father was an Oved Avodah Zarah. His father served idols. And Avraham Avinu had to fight against those idols. Avraham Avinu had to fight against the very home that he was born into. And then he went through a life of struggle. He went through a life where he had to convince people about Emunah in Hashem, about believing in God. Echad Haya Avraham. No matter what he went through, he remembered what his job was in this world. He kept his faith. Echad Haya Avraham. Avraham was one against the entire world. Reb Shimon Bergstein often took out that paper when things really seemed dismal, when things seemed dark, and that gave him such chizuk throughout Siberia, throughout the cold, throughout all of the torture and the labor. Echad Haya Avraham. He stood up, and no matter how many times they tried to test him, no matter how many times they tried to do things to take him completely away from his faith, he always had that page, Echad Haya Avraham. One day he took it out, and he said, Hashem, if I will ever have a miracle to survive this Siberia, and I will ever be able to go to Eretz Yisrael, to the Holy Land, I promise that I'm going to start a yeshiva, Echad Haya Avraham, dedicated to Likutei Moharan. Reb Shimon Bergstein held on to that page so tightly. A miracle did happen. He got out. He went to Eretz Yisrael. And he did open a yeshiva, Echad Haya Avraham, dedicated to Likutei Moharan. Until his last day on earth, Rabbi Shimon kept the page, Echad Haya Avraham.